Here's a mind-bending truth that millionaires don't talk about enough. Making your first $100,000 will drain you, exhaust you, and test every ounce of your discipline. But your second $100,000, it'll feel like a breeze. And by the time you hit $1 million, the money starts multiplying almost on autopilot. Sounds too good to be true? Let me show you the mathematics and psychology behind why wealth actually gets easier to build once you pass that critical first threshold.
Think about this scenario. You invest $5,000 and earn a solid 10% return. Congratulations, you just made $500. That's nice, sure, but it's also what you could earn working a couple of weekend shifts. Nothing life-changing, right? Now, picture this. You've got $100,000 invested at that same 10% return. That's $10,000 in profit. That's not pocket change anymore. That's serious money that could cover months of living expenses or fund a major life goal. And when you reach $1 million, that same percentage gives you $100,000 annually. For many people, that's more than their entire salary, and you're earning it while you sleep. This is the raw power of compound interest. In the beginning, you're doing all the heavy lifting. Every dollar in your portfolio comes from your paycheck, your sacrifices, your side hustles. But once you cross that $100,000 line, your money starts working harder than you do.
Here's where it gets fascinating. Once your portfolio hits 6 figures, something clicks in your brain. You start seeing your investments grow by thousands of dollars in good months, and suddenly investing stops being this abstract concept and becomes thrilling. That $100 dinner, you'll think twice, not because you're cheap, but because you now understand opportunity cost at a visceral level. You know that $100 could turn into $110 next year, $121 the year after that, and keep rewarding you forever if you invest it instead of consuming it. This mindset shift is powerful. You naturally start hunting for ways to increase your income, optimize your returns, and accelerate your wealth building. The rewards are now big enough to feel real, to feel worth the effort. Let's talk about something nobody mentions enough: options. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, your life operates in a narrow corridor. But when you've got $100,000 saved, the world cracks wide open. Imagine you're offered a commission-based job that could potentially pay you $100,000 a year, but there's no guaranteed salary. If you need that steady $50,000 paycheck to survive, you can't take the risk. But with savings, you can bet on yourself. Or maybe you've always dreamed of starting a business, but never had the capital or safety net to try. That business could make you millions, but without seed money, it remains a fantasy. What about investment opportunities? When a property shows up way below market value or a friend pitches you on a promising startup, you can actually act on it. Not recklessly, but strategically. You can take calculated risks that someone with $3,000 in savings simply cannot afford to take. Money buys options, and options create more money.
So how do you actually get to that first $100,000? Here's the brutal truth. There's no magic trick. The majority of this money will come directly from your pocket, from your labor, from your sacrifices. You need to attack this from 2 angles: earn more and spend less. Can you pick up a side gig on weekends? Can you start a small business that brings in extra cash? Every additional dollar you earn and immediately redirect into investments is a soldier in your wealth-building army. On the spending side, question everything. Not to live like a miser, but to be intentional. That car payment on a vehicle you bought to impress people you don't even like? That's the exact trap that keeps people broke forever. Those expensive habits that drain your bank account, they're stealing your future wealth. Remember, this intense focus is temporary. You're not doing this forever, just until you hit that critical mass where your money takes over the heavy lifting.
You know what's fascinating? The biggest obstacle isn't the money itself, it's getting started. So many people say they'll invest once they have more money. That's like saying you'll add wood to a fire only after it starts producing heat. It's backwards logic. You don't invest because you have too much money, you invest because you want more money. Then there's the risk excuse. Investing is too risky, people say, while their cash sits in a savings account getting destroyed by inflation. Yes, investing has risks, but staying broke is guaranteed failure. Taking that first step is the hardest because the finish line seems impossibly far away. But here's the secret. By the time you build real wealth, you'll be so comfortable with investing, so practiced at finding extra income, so skilled at making smart financial decisions that continuing becomes effortless. Here's what Charlie Munger understood that most people miss. The game fundamentally changes once you reach $100,000. The second $100,000 requires less personal sacrifice because compound interest is now your partner, doing work while you sleep. Yes, getting there is hard. Yes, it requires discipline, sacrifice, and patience, but it gets easier, more enjoyable, more rewarding. The wealth snowball that seems impossible to push at first eventually starts rolling downhill on its own momentum. So next time you feel frustrated about how slowly your net worth is growing, remember this: you're not just building wealth, you're building the system that will create wealth automatically for the rest of your life. And that system gets more powerful every single day. The first 100,000 is the hardest, but it's also the most important. Start today. If you found this valuable and want more strategies for building wealth faster, hit that subscribe button. I break down personal finance and investing in ways that actually make sense. No fluff, just actionable insights that can change your financial future. See you in the next one.